talk begins. Healing grows in every conversation. Bring us closer to a healthier mind. And today I have my special guest. One of his advocacy redefining mental health. How AI can make therapy accessible, compassionate, and a human again. No other than Mr. Ali
Thank
Yilmaz.
you, Daniel.
Welcome. Once again, Mr. Ali, and can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yeah, so I am coming from an engineering background and I have been working in AI therapy for the last year. And it came from my own experience with anxiety, stress, and a little bit of insomnia. So in the last year, I find myself a lot with in the mental health industry as a product builder. And I like to talk a lot in these podcasts and with other people about mental health.
Yes, and thank you so much again for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Ali. Thank you. So tell us, what is mental health awareness for you?
I guess, like for me, the biggest problem with my mental health was not knowing the borders of the mental health. Like, what is a stressful day and what is having anxiety. And I believe the mental health awareness for me is not taking anything lightly and being able to talk about mental health not as a taboo but as a daily thing. You know, when you're hungry, you can't tell people that you're hungry, let's go eat. If the mental health would be as easy as that, that would help a lot to the people, like for the persons, but also the society too. So I believe the mental health awareness for me is making talking about mental health as easy as possible.
The term mental health awareness has moved firmly into the mainstream. What, in your view, is the most dangerous misconception that persists even amidst of this increased awareness?
Mhm. Yes, the one thing that's very dangerous, but also kind of funny to me too,
Hmm.
that people think therapy or some other kind of mental health support is there's a wise guy or a wise woman sitting in a chair and telling you how to live your life.
Yes.
And that's actually a very common understanding of what therapy is for a lot of people. And that is not just wrong, but also made the whole mental health support or the therapy very inaccessible, not just like the price or um, like availability, but as an idea too. Nobody would like to listen somebody else lecture them. That is the most dangerous thing in my mind. Like thinking therapy is getting lectured by a wise person.
Beyond reducing stigma, Mr. Ali, what does effective mental health awareness actually look like in action? How do you move from taking a tangible understanding and support, just like the innovation that you bring us to the world?
Mhm. Can you ask the question again?
Yes, beyond reducing stigma, what does
Uh-huh.
effective mental health awareness actually look like in action?
I believe also like beyond the stigma, the accessibility. Like we use a lot in our internal meetings in AI therapy. How can we make mental health support as accessible as Netflix? Like if you want to watch a movie, it's very easy to watch a movie. If you want to go somewhere, like take an Uber, it's very easy to do that. But if you want to take any kind of mental health support, it doesn't have to be therapy, it can be some kind of counseling. It is very hard, very expensive, and not instant. Like you have to, if you're gonna go to therapy or if you're gonna get some kind of counseling, you have to get it next week, you have to get it tomorrow, which is a very big gap with the needs and the reality.
Mr. Ali, if you had redefined mental strength for a modern audience, shifting in a way from toughing it out, what would that new definition be?
Mental what do I define?
How would you define mental strength?
Mental strength, I guess the mental strength is, in that boxing or in like any other fighting sport, it's not about like how tough you are or how strong you are, but how many times you are able to get up when you get down. I guess it's about that for the mental health strength too. I don't think anybody is as strong as to not get down ever, to not get stressed ever, to not have overthinking, to not have any kind of uh, trauma or any kind of big stuff. But if you can be aware of your emotions and your behaviors and your actions, and you can fix them so you can get up when you are down, I believe that is the strength. Not just being strong, but being able to get up is the strength.
The strength indeed. So, how's the language we use around mental health changed for the better? And what are the some common phrases or metaphors we still use that might unintentionally cause harm?
That's a good question. I believe when we are saying the whole that mental health care, mental health support, that sounds a bit too clinical. And of course, like a lot of the part is clinical for the mental health support, for therapy especially, but also it makes people have a distance with the whole mental health support because, like, you're thinking, if I broke my arm, I go to doctor, I go to the health support. But if I am good, if I am not crying, if I am not very down and living a bad life, if I just have a little anxiety, then I might not need that health support. So maybe that the main word of that mental health support is actually giving the distance to the people. I'm sure there are a lot more words and phrases that's been used, but I believe the main understanding is already coming from having a serious issue to get any kind of mental health support.
Mr. Ali, awareness efforts often focus on individuals. How do we turn awareness into a systemic cultural change within institutions like workplaces, schools, or families?
Hmm. I mean, I'm not sure if I am to talk about the workplaces. Like I'm running a workplace, and what we are trying to do is we always tell everybody that we are trying to fix people's mental health. We are not gonna break our own while doing it. So I believe it's not about the rules or it's not about the bureaucracy in the work or in the school, but more of a how to approach it. Like if a mental health is not something important in anybody's mind, then it's not a problem. If it's broken, if somebody has an anxiety, that's not a problem in people's minds. So I guess the biggest thing is defining what is the what is problem and what is which systems are problematic and what are the thresholds. Because like I would like to wear some pink glasses and look everything from those glasses, but also everybody knows that school is stressful, work is stressful, some family relationships are stressful. But where are the borders that stress becomes too much? And I believe putting rules is not the solution, but it's like the result. I believe the solution is taking mental health as a serious problem. So it's a very broad answer, but that's my answer.
Interesting answer, Mr. Ali. And there's a tension between normalizing common struggles and trivializing serious condition. How do we navigate discussing the full spectrum of mental health respectfully and accurately?
Well, I believe this is the point that it goes to more clinical than daily life or than mental health support. So if somebody is having a trauma or any kind of depression, that's not something that is going to be solved with some mental wellness approaches. And I believe every mental wellness approach, every mental health support has to lead people, has to have a way for people to lead to that clinical treatment or that clinical approach. But we try to do that a lot in AI therapy anybody has, when users talk with AI therapy, and if AI therapy senses any kind of clinical stress levels or depression or self harm or suicide, then it actually directs people to clinicians. It directs people to, in case of suicide, to suicide helplines, or in case of depression, to a clinical or the local therapist. So the one scalable way is implementing ways to get to that clinical care on every mental health support tools and framework.
Mr. Ali, let's talk about the on personal application and relationships. What is the simple, non intrusive way to check it's on someone's mental well being that
Mhm.
goes beyond how are you and invites a real answer?
I use it a lot, and I have couple friends that use this a lot with me, and I know with other people too. And it's very effective. Than not just asking how are you. It is telling your own problems, not your own problems, but your own life. When you are talking with a friend, it is very hard to tell them your problems, if especially the serious problems, or if you have something in your mind you want to talk about. It's very hard to tell them if you don't know anything about them, if they are a cold friend to you, that you don't know anything about them, you don't know anything about their problems, their lives, you don't really want to open them. They can ask you a million times how are you, you can talk to me, blah blah, but you're not going to trust them. So the way to help people open up is opening up yourself. You have to uh, tell people about your own problems, maybe not your own problems, but your own life. I believe that is the good way to create the trust and like having that human side of the communication.
Very well said, Mr. Ali. And for someone who wants to be a better ally, what is the most important skill to develop? Listening without trying to fix, knowing local resources, or something else entirely, just like your app or
Hmm.
your website that you did created.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess like knowing the resources is a big thing, because I remember when I was like 2 years ago, when I was looking for any kind of solution that can help with my anxiety. And I'm Turkish. I moved here like 5 years ago. It's a new country, it's a new healthcare system, and I had no idea where to go. And it helped a lot to find the resources that I can do. That's how I found CBT, that's how I found some other self help tools. And so knowing the resources is definitely a big thing, because thanks to our current society, there are a lot of solutions to a lot of problems already existing. And but a lot of people are not aware of them. I believe the resources is the big thing, but also being non-judgmental is the second thing. Because if anybody knows that you're going to be get judged, they're going to be get judged, then they're not going to share anything. So yeah, the two things: the resources and uh, no judgment.
No judgment indeed. And Mr. Ali, self awareness is key. What are the subtle early warning signs that someone's own mental health might be shifting, which they often dismiss as just being stressed or tired?
Well, I guess this is like, I'm not a licensed therapist, or I'm not any kind of mental health professional, so my answer is just my experience. And I believe it is the constant uh, stress, or the constant being down. Like, you can be stressed one day, you can have a one bad day, you can have a two bad day, three bad day, but if you are keep having bad days without a good reason that you can write down, then that can be a cue to know that something is, uh, you might have some other issues, and then just having a bad day. And I believe the CBT can be a good way to deal with it too, because you can use some self-help methods to understand yourself, understand how you're thinking. Maybe it can help you, but maybe it can also help you recognize that you have more than just a daily anxiety, daily stress. Sorry.
Yes, definitely. And how can we set compassionate boundaries to support someone's mental health without taking on their emotional burden as our own?
Yeah, right. That is a very big thing. I believe, like, it's including me. I know a lot of people that when they listen somebody else's problems, it just makes their day worse, and it just makes them down too. And I believe, in that planes, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then the one next to you. So what I would suggest, again, from my experience and from my knowledge, would be just taking care of yourself first before trying to take care of somebody else, because then you can actually metaphorically kill yourself trying to save somebody else. So I believe every person is responsible for themselves first, then the other people. That might be the golden rule. If you're not um, feeling good about listening somebody else's bad day, you just have to be open about it and tell them that.
Definitely. And awareness is the step one, action is step two. For someone recognizing they need help, what's a practical low barrier first step they can take that feels less daunting than find
Mhm.
therapies?
Well, that worked out interesting, but that's actually AI therapy. So that's the big thing of AI therapy. That's the big thing that AI therapy is trying to achieve. That first step. A lot of the users of AI therapy actually started therapy too after talking with AI therapy, because AI therapy helps them realize they might benefit from regular therapy too. But before that talk with AI therapy, they didn't realize, um, or they didn't think about their mental health. So I believe the AI has a very big uh, opportunity, but also responsibility in a way, to make that first step very easy for a lot of people. And thanks to internet, thanks to technology, it is actually growing a lot right now.
Mr. Ali, beyond the professional therapy, what are the most underrated daily practices or mental health hygiene habits that can build
Uh-huh.
resilience for everyone?
Yeah, I guess the one thing I personally benefited a lot is definitely CBT. That cognitive behavioral therapy as self-help is really a lot of things that people are looking for in their daily life for their mental health, but also for their kind of even like physical health or how they live their life too. Because when you have a better mental health, you just live a better life.
Ab-
And yeah, go
Go ahead. A
on.
better life indeed.
Yeah,
Go, Go ahead. Please continue.
yeah, and I guess also the one thing I use a lot is going outside. Like this such a cliche suggestion, but it helps a lot. Uh, with the whole new, especially after COVID, when people started working from homes and the work became too much just in front of the computer for a lot of people, just going outside might benefit a lot for a lot of people. That's why we see a lot those mental health folks memes. But that's a really true thing. Like just going for a walk a day, that mental health walk can be a big step.
Interesting, Mr. Ali. So before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season. Abstract Poetry in second season, and my Book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 third season, and my Food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 Love Letters. Movie 101 review, music 101 our fourth season, science 101, sex 101 in its second season, and my baby podcast, mental health 101, law 101, Bible verses 101, and of course, entrepreneurship 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcasts. So, Mr. Ali, tell us. Technology and social media are a double edged swords for mental health. How can we leverage them as a forces for a genuine connection and support rather than comparison and harm?
That's a good question. And I am also someone that is suffering from social media too. Like I have to use social media for the business side, like not for my daily life, but for my business part to like let people know about AI therapy. And I stopped using social media like 5 years ago just because I just didn't like using it. It wasn't really doing anything good for me. When I moved to US, I just started using to talk with my friends back in Turkey and in other countries. It was just easy way, but it is true when you're like using any kind of social media, it can be Instagram, TikTok, anything for more than an hour a day, it is really becoming a burden in your life, and it is giving you that constant happiness when you're scrolling. So it might be a little too much rule, but I guess limiting the times that you use social media can be a very big and solid step. That's what I try to do in my daily life. And for the technology, the one thing that technology does, which is very good but also can be very spoiling, is making things very easy. So you can just reach anything easily online. So I guess what you have to do is just knowing your needs, and if things are passing that being a need but then being an addiction, you just have to uh, limit yourself.
Limit yourself for sure. And last but not the least, Mr. Ali. What is, or finally, for someone feeling overwhelmed by the state of the world of their own journey, what source of hope or a reason for optimism you see in evolving conversation around mental health?
I guess how accessible things are getting is a very positive thing, because I follow some therapists on TikTok, Instagram, and some other social media. Some of them are having great YouTube channels. It is getting very accessible to reach knowledge, and that's a very positive thing.
Mr. Ali, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your uh, projects that you're doing right now, or anything you want to promote on mental health?
Not true. We have a 25% off for the Christmas in AI therapy, so people can go to aitherapy.care. They can try it for free, and if they want to go for premium, we have a 25% off right now.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Ali Illness because if you support him for sure, more and more empowering mental health awareness will rise. So, Mr. Ali, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Monica, people, see you soon.